Okay, audio is must, so which means it's definitely a good sign. Okay, a very good evening, all of you. So, how are you guys doing? So, today's video will try to analyze how INI-CET MDS 2021 January session paper is. Obviously, with your feedback, we'll try to have some inputs and then we'll present those keywords, like how the paper was, how was your experience on this board, so that we'll have an overall idea on how the paper is exactly. Okay. So in fact, we have taken a poll and we got mixed responses in both YouTube as well as Telegram. And as evident, I think you might have seen those who are in YouTube as well as in Telegram updates group. So Telegram updates group around 170 plus participated in the poll. And to the question, how was the INI-CET Jan 2021 exam? As you can see, majority of you have said it is average. So it means neither difficult nor easy. So 52% of you said it's average, 29% of you said it was difficult, 11% said it was easy, 7% said it was very difficult, 1% said it was very easy. I really want to know that 1% guy or girl. So majority of you felt that paper was average. So that's based on stats available in Telegram. And based on stats available in YouTube, we again conducted another poll to similar question. So, how was INSET MDS Jan 2021 session? To which majority of you answered it as average again, around 62%, even more comparative. So, 62% of you said it was average, 12% of you said it was difficult, 11% said it was easy, 8% of you said it was very easy, and 7% of you said it was very difficult. So, this is some preliminary information we have regarding today's exam. So, feel free to share your views on the same, right? So, I hope everything is streaming fine. A very good evening, each and every one of you. So, I think I can say this difficulty level. So, in fact, the options which we posted in poll they're based on difficulty index. Very difficult, difficult, average, easy, very easy. So majority of you have answered it as average. So any other inputs which you would like to give? So how is the paper? Is it like single right answer type or multiple right answer type of questions? And also how many image-based questions you had out of 200? How many case-based questions? So how was the overall experience? Okay, we'll start with your comments. So Rituja says it was lengthy. So Rituja feels that the paper was lengthy, which means did you find it difficult to answer all the questions within the allotted time? 200 questions, 180 minutes. So comparatively less number of questions than NEET MBS, right? With same amount of time. So still, did you find it difficult to complete all the paper? Okay, Davika says somewhat questions were easy only, but I couldn't remember that time. So average. So difficulty index again, you say it's average. And also, I heard about matching, right? I heard that you had so many matching questions. So I'll be entering your keywords here. Lengthy paper, matching. So I heard there were several questions in this particular format. So obviously, matching takes time. In fact, it eats away all our time. So matching is another challenging format. Exactly. It's always challenging to recollect concepts from our memory when we are in a hurry, especially in this time limit bound exams or computer based exams. Yeah, so there were many matching type of questions. So Amrita says there were around 50 to 60 image based questions. That's really a healthy number. 50 to 60. In fact, last year, NEET MBS also, I heard most of you citing around 45 to 50 or even 60 image based questions exclusively. Yes, image based questions were nice, which means, Davika, you have answered them very well. Right? So, if we can answer all the questions, we term the paper very nice. Examiner as a very good person, or else the scenario would be completely different. Yes, Manav says some questions were wrong. Okay, let me start from the top so that I don't miss any of your comments. Yeah, Samir says it's average, sir. Many of them are repeated questions from seniorship, but bit lengthy due to match the following and few language in questions. Okay, I heard there were some challenging words in the questions. Okay, let's review them. So it was comparatively lengthy, which is attributed to presence of matching. Okay, Samir, appreciate your feedback. Urvi says paper was average. Yes, Rituja says time taking matching. Samir, hard to remind easy questions. Daivika, I know the question, I read this topic but couldn't recollect many questions. It's through repeated revisions you can overcome this challenge without any doubt. So you can consider this as a learning experience, right? And I was very happy to hear most of you telling me that you actually enjoyed taking up the test, which is a very, very good sign. I'm really happy to hear that from you guys. Yes, Lakshmi, and I hear most of you talking about questions from basics, very basic range of questions. So I think I can enter that keyword as well. So most of the questions were very basic. So you mean to say the level of questions, right? Not the basic subjects, very basic level. Okay. And Mano says some questions were wrong. Okay. So let's see if there will be any additions or uh, actually we have no idea whether they would publish key, whether they would release question paper, whether they would add any marks. So we'll have to wait and see. So Arushi says so most of them are single correct answer type. So almost all the questions, I reckon. So single best response type of questions. Okay, appreciate your feedback, Arushi. So anything else? Yeah, matching type as Vikas mentioned. Davika says image-based questions are nice. Okay. And Neha also says the paper was lengthy, right? Most of the questions were about basics. Okay, basic subjects. Very basic. Okay, let's see. Yes, so we Lakshmi, I BQ. Image-based questions around 50. I think Amruta has mentioned that. So 50 to 60, maybe more than 50 image-based questions. Saurabh says options were tricky and confusing. So did anyone of you feel that way that the options were tricky and confusing? Or only did Saurabh perceive that? Okay, let me take your feedback as well, Saurabh. I don't think this board would be suffice to enter all the keywords, right? But let's do our best with the available space. Space management is very important now for me, I think. Yes, Manav, sir, thanks to, yeah, Urvi says more of dental subjects. You mean to say clinical subjects? Okay. So the question range was to very basic level, and most of the questions were from the clinicals. Okay, if I'm not wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Manav, so thanks to your case-based questions, now I need more of them. Sure, Manav, we'll definitely do our best to provide you all as many case-based questions as possible in your test sets. Right? Vikas, matching type of questions were many. Yes, Dhruvi says so the questions were repeated. Dam repeated. Which dam are you talking about? Howard Dam? Okay, good. Good to hear that, Dhruvi. So there were repetitions. Let me enter that keyword as well. So there were repetitions. I thought if I would have like mugged up everything, I would be fine. But don't fall into that prey. Okay, that could be soup for rest of the exams. So we don't know how the upcoming exams could be. Sometimes there could be repetitions. If that's the case, consider yourself lucky. But the last year NEET, based on the inputs we had, there were very limited or few repetitions. Don't expect that to happen in every exam, right? Anyways, appreciate your feedback, Ruby. So there were several repetitions. And Davika says there were several image-based questions which were easy to attempt. So when they're easy to attempt, it's even more challenging to score high because as I mentioned in one of the live sessions previously, in easy question, if you go wrong by chance, then it would take you out of competition. So answering easy questions is even more challenging. You should tread even more carefully. It's all about mindfulness, right? Yeah, and majority were single best response type of questions. Okay. So you mean to say all the questions were on the same category? Fine. I think I should be faster because I'm getting so many comments. And let me just move this side so that you can go through those keywords in the meantime. So all of them were single best response type of questions. Options were lengthy, so many image based questions. Match the following is time consuming and easy questions, hard to recall. I think most of you are giving similar challenges you faced in this exam. Okay. And Kavita says most of the questions were from clinical subjects, especially perio. Would be very less, were about assertion, reason, and more of matching. In fact, I heard some of you telling there were no assertion and reason type of questions. Okay. Vibhuti says questions were easy, but options were not so easy. Okay. So I think we have tried to enter the same here. Tricky and confusing or lengthy options. Okay. And Kavita and Sriparna says easy questions, but options were very close to precise, right? Kavita says perio, endo, PhD, perio, anatomy, physio occupied major patients. So I see mostly, mostly clinical subjects along with anatomy and physiology. So more of clinical questions. Maybe I can enter that keyword here as well. Okay, some and few questions have options whose options can't be understood in one go. And they have talked about gibberish. What is this gibberish? I've just come across that in our study club. What is that gibberish? And also, one of you were mentioning about some options which were in numbers, and that was totally irrelevant. So anyone can share anything in that regard? So image-based questions were relatively easy. Concept-based questions were very tricky and confusing. Okay, 20 to 30 questions felt new like never heard. So around 20 to 30 questions were totally new. Okay, right? So Lakshmi says around 20 to 30. And because options were very confusing and very similar, very unexpected pattern according to mentor. And Daviko says memory-based questions I couldn't remember. I had to revise them again nicely. So in need, this should not happen. Good. Sriharini, around 30 to 40 questions had two options very close to each other. So this time you had challenge with the options. Okay. Vibhuti, questions were easy, but options were not. Parul, sir, I have mailed you many questions. Please provide solutions. Parul, yes, I think you have given the exam. You are the best person to give me solutions. But anyways, I'll review all the topics and will provide you answers accordingly. Okay. And you have any queries or you need any clarifications, of course, use doubt clarification form and get back to that format for clarification. Any one of you, right? Yeah. Rituja says options are very close. No assertion and reason this year. Okay. And all of the questions are single best response type of questions. Case based questions were not lengthy. So the questions as such were not lengthy, including case based questions. Fine. Sir, can you please upload the pic of question paper since it isn't available on website? Mukherjee, yes, please provide us questions or keywords. We'll try to provide you paper discussion videos. Lovina says the same. Okay, some options were confusing. Options were tricky. Many memory-based questions. So this is something which I think I can enter. So more of memory-based questions. So in this pandemic, it's a test to your memory. Among the given challenges, it's a test to your memory for sure. And you had 2 to 3 questions from COVID-19. Good. As we have been anticipating that there would be some questions from COVID-19, and you say you had some 2 to 3 questions from COVID-19. Davika, yes, Vetri, thank you for the feedback. Davika said the physical practical we were doing Q platelet collecting. They asked, I'm sorry, what's that question related to physio practicals regarding platelet count? Okay. There was an image-based question. Fine. I mean, regarding specific topics of questions, you can get back through mail. will provide you in the form of elaborate information in the form of paper discussion videos. In this session, just let me know how your experience was. And did you enjoy taking up the test? Yes, Arushi says, Gargi says, okay, Arushi says more of clinical subjects, especially public health dentistry and perio. So this is something which I think I can note down. So PhD and perio. Yeah, or yes, so clinical and theory included mostly dental subjects. Okay. So more of clinical questions or more of dental related questions, dental subjects. Anush, according to me, we did not focus much on basics, which they did, and that's the reason why I was in a confusion state. When you mean basics, can you be more precise, Anushri? You mean to say at the basic level of any topic, the foundational aspects? Okay. And you had 2 to 3 questions from cohort and case control studies. That's good. Purchasers have asked more of dental related and not general. Is it the same in NEET as well? No, no, no. Don't go based on this. It might be completely different. It can be equal weightage and equal stress upon basic as well as clinical subjects. Don't try to reflect this format onto upcoming NEET MDS entrance. Try to compare with the previous year NEET MDS entrance. Then you'll understand. Okay. Yes, Pooja? Anuj, sir, can we get the question paper? Sorry, I don't have any question paper, Anuj. If you can provide us keywords or questions, we'll definitely consider your request. Yeah. Cleft lip Nagpur classification. Yeah, any specific topics or questions, you can get back through mail. We'll try to incorporate them in our paper discussion videos. Any one of you. Okay. Yeah. COVID-19, 3 to 4 questions. Questions seemed familiar, average. Okay, physiology, muscles, 3 to 4 questions. Paper was not lengthy according to Lovino. Options were difficult to choose. Repeated questions from previous AIMS paper. Yes, we entered all of them. Mask was irritating during exam. So if you're planning to give NEET, so this experience will definitely help you perform even better. I know it's very challenging. Wasn't there any air conditioning? So how was the environment within the exam center or within the lab, Kritik? I think this is the first time ever in history of humankind that we are taking up exams with masks. You are the first batch, I reckon. Okay, Gargi says there are two assertion and reason based questions. Okay, Gargi, appreciate your feedback. And Lakshmi says we started exam at 10:30. Okay, so there are two assertion and reason type of questions. That's good to hear. Okay, Lakshmi, you started your exam late because of technical issues, so you should be prepared for that. But even you had a technical issue, you still had 3 hours of time, right? I know it's very challenging and irritating, but you had your time, which is very important. Okay, Urvi, what is this 43922 and all? What is this 43922? What's the context, Urvi? Okay, so exam was delayed for everyone. So pan India, around 4 hours. Okay, I know it's very tough, very challenging, and your glucose levels might have gone down. Okay, you had three image-based questions from cadavers, like with pictures of cadavers, the actual pictures. Okay, yeah, you find questions tough, challenging, or you didn't understand, it's always better to leave, as Ankita has mentioned. Yes, the exam was from 10:30 to 1:30. Actually, it was supposed to be from 9:30 to 12:30, but it was extended by 1 hour. And there were many questions from prosto, oral surgery, ortho, and peri according to Pari. So more of clinical questions, and all the questions were very basic in nature, right? Yes, Amruta. Yes, sir. Yeah, in case you had a wrong question, those who attempt, definitely you'll have all the marks without any doubt. Okay. That could be because of some technical issue, right? Yeah, that because that number I didn't understand. I read four times but didn't understand. So I think this particular question of 43211 or whatever it is might have wasted your valuable time of at least 2 to 3 minutes or even more. That's really very unfortunate. Oh, Preeti has reached at 8:47 and didn't get entry. Sorry to hear that, Preeti. Anyways, better luck next time and try to be early as per their instructions so that make sure you're not repeating the same in the upcoming exams. Okay, Preeti? I'm really sorry to hear that. Swati, there was the question which had three X-rays and they asked the correct sequence, but the options given were you think they were wrong, some random numbers. So any of those questions you'll get full marks. Don't worry. If you think the question is wrong, you have nothing to worry about because it would be the same for everyone. Dhruvi, three maze-based questions were there with MTA filling in apexification, calcium hydroxide, and non-vital teeth, and options were like, what is this gibberish? It's really funny, but I think I'm hearing this for the first time. Gibberish. Okay, okay, Dhruvi. So many questions from derma and psychiatry. Sorry, which psychiatry are you talking about? Okay, Sri Harini, one PDM is best question with relevant points and totally confusing numerical options. Okay, Lakshmi, one okay nonsense question, so it has no sense. Okay, that's fine. Horrible. Case value, another name. Shravani, myotherapeutic. Would be 11, 1 showed file in X-ray. I guess it was empty, right? More of basics. Saurabh says questions on COVID-19 were pretty easy. Saurabh, you say that pretty easy because you're familiar with them. What if you have no idea? Obviously, you'll find them very difficult, isn't it? Anyways, I'm glad that you found the questions pretty easy. Amrita, questions which you covered in recent code video were there in exam. Oh, that's wonderful to hear, Amrita. Urvi, sir, we should request INI-CET to release answer key with questions. Of course, yes, but I don't think that happens. It never happened for NEET MDS, and I don't think that's going to happen for INI-CET, but at least we can try from our side. It promotes transparency, isn't it? It promotes transparency. I don't think that's going to happen, but at least we can try from our side. Lovina. I did enjoy taking the test. That's wonderful to hear, Lovina. That's really wonderful to hear. Urvi, as there were few wrong questions, okay. Kavita, 5 to 6 questions, direct image based questions from Karanza. So, as we have been discussing, Kavita, really appreciate your feedback. So, whenever you feel bored or monotonous in your preparation, you can just pan through your entire textbook, standard textbook, go through all the images and the legends relevant to those images. It helps you bring diversity into your preparation, or also, as I keep on telling you, helps you maintain that enthusiasm. It's good to hear that there were direct image based questions from Karan. Okay, Anushri. Subscribe. You need notes on COVID 19? Then I suggest you to prepare notes on COVID 19 based on discussion which we had very recently. I think day before yesterday. You can check out YouTube. Yes. Davik, anyways, sir, I enjoyed this exam and learned mistakes I did from the exam. That's wonderful to hear, Davika. Urfi, right. Lovina, no, there were no assertion and reason type. There were two statement type, whether they are correct or not. Okay, whatever it is. So there were either assertion and reason type or true or false statement type, which are very limited in number. Two, one or two, right? Saurabh says one girl behind me completed her exam in 1 hour. How can it be possible? I got a bit depressed after that. Come on, Saurabh, which means she has done her exam very well. She must be very familiar with all the questions. When you're very familiar with, you said COVID 19 questions were pretty easy. How much time did you take to answer them? Few seconds, right? So if all the questions are very familiar, then it happens just like that. You can complete your exam, if not 1 hour, even in 10, even under 10 minutes. Take my word. But I don't think. you allowed yourself to get depressed throughout the exam, right? Only you were depressed for a few moments. Okay, Rituja sir, it was very depressing to sit there for 2 hours prior to because of technical issues. Come on, that's how life is, right? You can't complain. Even if you complain, it's not going to do any favor for you, isn't it? So we need to face, no matter what the challenge is, and only those who face it with courage in heart and smile on face will eventually emerge successful without any doubt. Of course, there will be technical issues, right? So we need to face it. Deblina, Orthe and Endo were there in most of the paper. Yeah, good to hear that. Because yes, it was delayed by 1 or 10 in the year. So I hear most of you telling me that there were several clinical based questions from ortho, endo, perio, pedo, public health dentistry. Fine. So I'm sure all of you will be sleeping. Or, you see, you'll be sleeping tonight, and almost every one of you will have that sequence 43921 or 42931 in your dreams without any doubt. I'm sure it will be haunting you for at least few days after the exam. Okay, there was a developmental question on how striatic muscle is formed. You can get back through mail, Karthi. Akshay, okay, mentor. ICD's classification of caries, fenestration. Yeah, all the topics, canal configuration types, you can get back through mail. We'll try to incorporate them in our paper discussion videos, including test sets. Okay, Anushri is very angry because there are hardly any questions from biochemistry. So that was a good part too. Oh, you're not angry, you're happy. Fine. But don't expect the same. See, Pooja, Anushri, all of you, don't expect the same to be happening in NEET MDS. Assume that there will be equal weightage and there will be questions equally from all the subjects. Whether they give or not is secondary, but you preparing accordingly is very important, right? Yeah, Mudit, sir, there was Nagpur classification. Okay. Questions were purely made of NBD examination repeated. Okay, okay. Pratik, sir, as you have said, it promotes transparency, not providing paper, but we should be allowed for rechecking or RTI. Yes, Pratik, definitely. Lovina, yes, of course, like a flash in 10 minutes. It is possible. Just submit the paper, that's it. So when we expect 1 hour delay of exam, why didn't they allow entry by 3 minutes delay? See, the logic is very simple. If you guys do a mistake, it's a mistake. But if I do a mistake, it's not a mistake. See, in India or in most parts of our country, things work this way. Those who are organizing certain things, if there is mistake from their side, it's okay. It has to be accepted. But if there is a mistake from the participant side, it is definitely a mistake. Even if you enter a day, if you are entering late by 1 minute, that's it. That's how, unfortunately, the rules are. That's a very good question, by the way, Kavita. I'm sure you asked similar questions to your examiners in Viva during the exam. Yeah, subscribe. How many seats in AIMS? I've been waiting for the answer to that question. Subscribe. So, or you can do one. You can subscribe to our channel and find out the answer very soon. Subscribe. Please subscribe to our most subscribed dental channel. Uh, I was just kidding. There is no information in AIMS website. So if at all there is prospectus fee or additional information available, we'll try to update you accordingly. But as I said, subscribe. Please subscribe to our most subscribed dental channel. Okay, Lakshmi says no true or false. Okay, only true assertion and reason-based questions. Less than 5 questions from pharma. Okay. Pratik, I might be wrong, but I feel that there was error in the option in 2 questions. Anushri, okay, Gargi. So please tell us some high-yield topics for covering NEET. Yes, Gargi, check out our YouTube channel, check out our courses. You'll get majority high-yielding topics, not just for NEET, for any dental entrance field exam throughout the world. Take my word. Exactly, Lovina. That's my point. It's like if we do it, it's a crime, and if they do it, it's a blessing. Not no, it should not be considered as normal. If they do it, it's a blessing. 1 hour additionally are sat in the exam center. It's a blessing. It's an additional experience for you. I know I'm smiling, but it must be very frustrating for you. But that's how life is. We don't know. We need to be ever ready to face any challenge, irrespective of its magnitude or regardless of its magnitude. Vasant, how many questions? How many of us say paper is easy, but no enough time to solve all the questions? Okay, I think we can take a poll on that. But I think majority of you would say yes to that particular question. Ayush, the few one-liners I was unable to recall. Okay. Davika sir, in formal revision, it's sufficient to revise classification. I'm afraid of that subject alone only. Come on, Davika, you have only 14 or 15 questions from pharmacology. How can you allow yourself to influence that 15 question a category, affect your entire rest 235 questions paper? That's not fair at all. Anyways, get back to me for any further guidance or specific guidance regarding any subject. Many questions from myofunction appliances, labial bow, wires, functional regulator, role of nickel in steel wire. Okay. Modit, which virus has highest mortality rate? Vasant. Hi, sir. How much was last year's stock market in AIMS MDS exam? I don't remember, Vasant. I don't usually keep all those stats in my mind. I'll have to review the official website for such information. If you're interested or curious, you can get back to me. I'll spend some time whenever it's based on my time availability, and I'll see if I can update you accordingly. Sir, is this good question? Good to ask question from foreign authors when they itself didn't read in or we were not trained in dental usage. I don't see such categorization or division. I don't know whatever your name is, health activists. See, don't look at that in terms of foreign versus Indian authors. Look for standardization. Wherever you find standard information, reliable information based on science and logic, there is nothing wrong in following it, regardless of whether they are foreign authors or Indian authors. If in dental UG you are following guides, then whose mistake is that? We're supposed to follow standard literature, and DCI has clearly given us some standard textbook names, and we have shared that very same in our e-classes general section, and it's available in DCI website. So DCI course guidelines are very clear. Whether we follow that or not, it's our choice, right? Davika, except pharma, I did rest all subject full. Regarding mortality rate, yeah, we'll review that question as well. Nipah, Ebola, we'll definitely review that question. Okay, Gargi. So all sessions I've watched, and those are very much interesting, especially everyday's live sessions. Exactly, we should follow standard textbooks. And if you get questions from standard textbooks, whom do you blame? In fact, it's a blessing, right? Okay. So what are questions? I mean, I think most of you are giving us keywords here. So please get back through me so that we can record them and then we can incorporate them in our paper discussion videos, which will be coming up very soon. Okay. So that's it, guys. So I think we got most of the keywords related to your exam experience. So how was the paper? Based on stats, based on polls, most of you said it is average. So neither hard, neither difficult nor easy. It was average. And this is what you said. And I said Jan 2021. Difficulty level is average. Lengthy paper, especially the options are very lengthy. Mostly you found matching type of questions, which were obviously time consuming. Around 50 to 60 image based questions. And all of them are single best response type of questions, even though in prospectus they mentioned about multiple right answer questions as well. But you said most of them or almost all of them were single best response type, very basic level of questions, and questions were mostly from clinical subjects, right? And also the options were tricky and confusing. There were several repetitions, especially from previous AIMS papers, and there were mostly clinical questions, 20 to 30 or very few percentage of totally new questions, according to you, and memory-based questions, several memory-based questions, and most of the questions from clinical subjects like endo. No one has mentioned about ortho. So endo, conservative, perio, public health dentistry, pedo, and perio, right? And also there were questions on the current pandemic, 3 to 4 questions or 2 to 3 questions based on your inputs, right? So this is how we try to analyze the paper, today's paper. So any additional inputs or any suggestions from your side, you're always welcome to get back through mail at talktobidentist@gmail.com. And also, you can provide us keywords related to questions so that we can incorporate them in the upcoming paper discussion videos, right? So appreciate all your active participation. It's 8:30. We're supposed to have a live session now. So we'll just take a quick break, 10 to 15-minute break, and then we'll start with today's live session of quick revision class, public health dentistry. Okay? Right. Good night. I will take a short break and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, a result will be available for everyone who participated, but initially they'll be releasing that merit list of those who qualify. But everyone will get their result, but it takes some time. Okay, guys. I'll see you again in 10 to 15 minutes. We shall live by, actually, we're supposed to have live now at 8:30 p.m. IST, but since we took some time now, we'll start a quick revision class by, what do you say, 8:45 p.m. or 9 p.m.? You guys decide. I'll try to implement that. 8:45 p.m. or 9 p.m. Which time would you like to choose for our upcoming live session? Quick revision class, public health dentistry. Okay, we'll go with the majority. Yeah, I'll see you at 9 p.m. IST sharp. Take care.